Listen, there are echoes in the oldest silence. They whisper of a time before recorded time, when the world was new and yet already stained with something ancient and forbidden. Imagine a boundary, a thin veil between the heaven you picture and the earth beneath your feet. What if that veil was not always secure? What if something stepped across? Before we go deeper, subscribe if you want more hidden history and ancient truths that most people never hear. This story, buried in texts considered lost or forbidden for centuries, tells us that perhaps we are not the first world shapers, and that something vast, mysterious, and terrifying walked where we now stand. The mystery begins with the few quiet lines in one of the most famous books ever written, Genesis. It mentions beings called the Nephilim. The text is brief, almost a footnote, but the implications are immense. It simply states that they were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men. The resulting offspring, the Nephilim, were mighty men, the men of renown. That is the core of the puzzle. Who were these sons of God, and who were the Nephilim? The answers, or at least the most detailed and unsettling ones, are locked away in a book you may not have read, a text tied to one of the most enigmatic figures in history, the Book of Enoch. Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, is a figure mentioned briefly in Genesis, said to have walked with God and then simply vanished. His book fills in the blank spaces. It gives us the backstory, the reason for the great corruption that supposedly came upon the earth. Listen closely. The Book of Enoch names these sons of God as watchers, a group of powerful, high-ranking angels who saw the human women and desired them. They made a pact, descended to a mountaintop, and broke their sacred trust. Their sin was twofold: intermingling with humans, and perhaps worse, sharing forbidden knowledge. This forbidden knowledge was not trivial. It was the secrets of heaven and earth, how to make weapons of war, how to craft jewelry and cosmetics, how to use sorcery and divination. The story paints a picture of a human world suddenly overloaded with technology and magic it was not ready for. It led to chaos, violence, and vanity. And the children born of this union, they were the Nephilim. The Book of Enoch is far more descriptive than Genesis. It says these children were vast, they were giants. Imagine towering figures whose hunger and destructive appetites became too much for the earth to bear. They consumed everything, the labor of humans, the animals, and eventually they turned on each other. The story suggests that the very ground cried out because of the giants, the Nephilim, and the wickedness they brought. This ancient tale, passed down through generations, became the ultimate warning about unchecked power and pride. It shows us what happens when the natural order is broken and when secrets meant only for the divine are shared too soon. The narrative explains that this was the direct reason for the Great Flood. Not just a punishment, but a necessary cleansing to save the remaining world from complete ruin. The Nephilim were destroyed by the water, but the story suggests their spirits remained, becoming demons or restless forces in the world. This is why the legends captured human imagination for millennia. It's an explanation for everything that feels wrong or inexplicable in the world, the root of evil, tracing back to a moment of divine betrayal. Listen, across nearly every culture, from the Greek Titans to the giants in Norse myth, we find stories of massive, primordial beings who fought against the established order. Perhaps this is simply a psychological pattern. When humans felt small and powerless against a vast, indifferent universe, they created stories of enormous heroes and colossal villains. It gives a face to natural disasters and social failures. It tells us that our problems are ancient and that strength and goodness were needed to overcome them in the past, just as they are now. The Nephilim story speaks to our fear of the unknown, our fascination with what happens when limits are crossed, and the unsettling idea that the universe is far larger and more complex than we can easily manage. When we feel lost, looking to these massive, mythic struggles helps us understand our own small battles. We are seeking a pattern, a meaning, a connection to the truly mythic age. What remains today is a piece of breathtaking ancient storytelling. The Book of Enoch was respected by early religious thinkers, then mostly suppressed or lost, only to be rediscovered centuries later. It does not offer a literal truth that can be proven in a laboratory. Instead, it offers a profound meditation on the origins of evil, the dangers of rebellion against wisdom, and the price of forbidden knowledge. It is a terrifying, beautiful myth, one that keeps us wondering about the hidden history of the world and the echoes that can still be heard if we just pause to listen. Ultimately, the story of the Nephilim, the giants, and the Watchers of Enoch serves as a reminder that every culture grapples with the same eternal questions. Where did we come from? Why is there suffering? And what is the true nature of power? The answers these ancient people found were wrapped in myth, fire, and flood, leaving us to interpret their wisdom about pride, temptation, and the enduring need for balance in a very confusing world.